and welcome to another reading vlog. We are setting up for our first ever, you can see it in the mirror behind me, our first ever reading sprint for TBR Lowdown, and we are going to be reading the prophets today. As you can see behind me, I set up the bed. I've got my lights so I can do some B-roll for us. I'm gonna put on a little bit of something so I don't look so dead. And I got my laptop all ready. I got my book, and we're like T-minus a few minutes. So I just want to come in here, intro the video, and say welcome to another reading vlog. It's Alyssa. Thank you for joining us. If you don't know, I co-host a diverse reading book club. Super important for all of us to be diversifying our reads. And this month's book pick is The Prophets, which is a debut novel by Robert Jones Jr. that sounds really, really, really good. Try not to read a lot of blurbs, but essentially it's about like two slaves who fall in love, two male slaves that fall in love. So I'm really excited about this, and we're gonna go live on reading sprints shortly. So I'm gonna stop this intro and do something with my face so I'm slightly less terrifying. And I have tea being brewed. Update, my hand is not any better as of the start of this. Maybe by the end of this reading vlog, it'll be better. I don't know. I don't know how long it's gonna take me to read this. It's not a very long book. I will probably finish this in like a day or two. So probably won't be better. Anyway, my hand probably won't be better, but enough rambling. Let me get my face on. Let me get ready. Let me set up everything, and then we will do reading sprints, and I will keep you guys updated. I don't know why I'm doing this. I really need to not make you all sick.
I just made tea.
Me too. But I brought my Poe blanket so that Aaliyah's here in spirit.
Love that. You're like never gonna run out of tea.
Oh no, I never run out of tea. I never run out of tea or coffee. He's like, oh, so do you still do that book thing? I'm like, what book thing? And he's like, you know, like, weren't you having calls with the girls like every week? And I was like, yeah, we still do that, babe. We still have the book club.
I'm sorry, I don't know what you want me to say.
We just influence each other to buy more shit. That's all we do.
Oh. We are here to get started on the prophets. None of us have started yet, right? Like this is
I haven't.
Time cracking it open.
So how do you want to do your readings? Emma, you are the queen of reading sprints. How do you want to do this? It's all right. It's time to get naked. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. We are reading. Okay, so hi guys. So reading sprints were actually really super duper fun, so we're going to do that again. And thank you to anybody and everybody who either joined on the live or is watching the replay. I suggest you watch the replay, and if you just need some encouragement to read, we do 2 reading sprints, I think, and some chatting. And at the end, I think we've had a mental breakdown, and it's kind of funny. So if you make it to the end, let me know, because we get a little silly. So I started reading this. I've already flagged things, which means I'm really enjoying it. I have to finish this chapter. The only thing I did not like about reading sprints is that, like, after 30 minutes, I don't necessarily end on a chapter, like a nice ending, but I have like a couple pages, and then I'll be on chapter, I don't know what, I'll be on page 80. So the chapters don't have numbers. So this is beautifully written. I am shocked by all these debut novelists who write these like just astoundingly good novels, because as I'm trying to write my first ever book, which I promise I will get back to that. I just, between my hand and January, it's really hard for me to type. It's really hard for me to even be editing these videos. So writing has sort of, hopefully when my hand calms down. I don't have my brace on today because I can't even get it in because it's so swollen. And I'm waiting for this special wrap that like will heat, this heated compression wrap thing to arrive from Amazon. so that I can calm this down. But anywho, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. This is a problem. I go on so many tangents. My brain is just like, bop, 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 bop. Anyway, this is so good. So far, I just know that this is going to break my heart. This is what we kept saying on the reading sprints, is that like, this is totally, we know that somehow this couple, Isaiah and Sam, at the end, it's just going to break us. But the writing's really, really beautiful. It gives me like small hints of the Water Dancer. They're very different stories, but there's something about the tone, I guess, that reminds me of it. Like, that had this kind of hint of magical realism, and I feel like I'm waiting for that in this. Like, I'm waiting for some element like that to arrive. So anywho, I'm going to finish reading for the day from this to get to a nice little stopping point, and I will update you guys later when I read some more. But it's gonna be hard for me to make words and like thoughts on this, I think, as we're going, because there is a lot in here to unpack, and it's gonna be a really interesting discussion, I think, when we get to the end of the month, because I think there's just gonna be a lot in here to talk about. I do like Maggie. I like the Maggie's one of the house slaves, and she's got some balls on her, and I really, really like her. Like, I'm hoping they don't do anything awful to her, but we're gonna see. I just know that somehow this book is gonna break me, and you guys are gonna be here for the ride. I took way too much B-roll footage, and it looks like I'm a cam girl in my bedroom, because there's like my laptop, and then there's like another camera, and then there's like all this stuff. It's like so weird. My bedroom looks weird, so I need to break it down so my boyfriend doesn't come home and is like, what are you doing when I'm not home? I'm like, just reading, babe. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. I have to go take care of the children. Good morning. I look interesting. It is back to the prophets today. I am going to try to finish this today. We have reading sprints again tonight. It is about 8:45 in the morning. There is every chance that I finish this before we get to our sprints, because this is so good. And also, like, now that I've read Cast and Stamped to some degree, but Cast is the most recent, there are passages in here that the meaning is more obvious to me. This is very lyrical, and I may have missed points from just my own pitiful understanding of the true nature of our history, our collective history in this country. Particularly this line about like lynchings and taking pieces of the people. They did that. They took photographs and made postcards and sent them as like souvenirs. I know there is a large portion of particularly European collective history where we would go to public executions, which I don't understand that as a socializing event, but I particularly don't understand how one could be so unabashedly evil to glorify, celebrate, and commemorate the lynching of a human being. And I guess it's because if you've created a world in which the people you are killing aren't actually human beings in your mind, that's different. But then my brain goes, I wouldn't celebrate the execution of any living creature. I've read 2 pages this morning and my brain is already like, This is why we can't just read the fun reads. This is why we can't just read the fun fantasies, the cozy mysteries, the cutesy, smutty, whatever romances that just like the book candy. The book candy can't just be all that we read, because books are so incredibly powerful. They can change our outlook on life. They can change our worldviews. They can change so much. They are such a powerful, powerful tool. And we can't just read the things that are safe, the things that don't push us to the edge of where we are comfortable, and then just hurdle us over that edge and force us to reimagine and reconstruct our world in a more accurate way, to look at the deep and ugly parts so that we can see when they exist in us and in others and find ways to change that. I don't even know what I'm saying. I went down a rabbit hole yesterday of YouTube videos about literature and the power of literature and the power of poetry and the power of words. And now I'm picking this up and I'm like, yes, this is what books do. This is what books do. Books change us. Books shed light on the darkest of the dark places and force us to come to terms with that and change to never go there again. And this is, I think, one of those beautifully executed pieces of literature that forces us to take a look at something that we maybe would be happy not to, but we should never pass by without looking at it. God, humans are screwed up. We are fundamentally flawed, but we don't have to be. At some point, we choose to keep doing it, but you can choose not to. You can choose to be better. You can choose to open your eyes. You can choose to look at the things that make you uncomfy and face them and change things. Oh, this book is so good. I'm going to keep reading. I look more human now. So I've decided to put some makeup on and not look like a crazy person. Did not finish The Prophets. It's about one something. I'm on page 225 and I've been flagging the heck out of it. I've even been underlining in pencil, and like, this book is phenomenal. I'm super excited for the discussion, because we've also just been having a side discussion just sort of amongst my friends and some of the people in TBR Lowdown, just about a lot of the topics that get brought up in here through the narrative and how they apply to today. And like, I think it's gonna be a good discussion. But like, this book, oh my God, this book is so flipping good. Like, you have, if you haven't read this, if you didn't join us, you have to read this on your own, because the narrative, written, prose, beautiful, gorgeous. There are apparently lots of biblical references that fly over my head, because despite being a Bible camp kid, I am not religious, and so a lot of that goes over my head. But apparently there's a lot to digest from those metaphors and references. And then there's just the narrative itself. There's a social commentary. There's a commentary on slavery. There's a commentary on sexual relations. There's a commentary on gender roles and sexual orientation. And oh, there's so much in here to unpack. And I'm going to film a haul video, and after I walk the dogs in the snow, because it's snowing. And then I'm going to get back to reading this, as I think I'm going to try to finish this mostly before we start the live reading sprints, because it's just so flipping good. So good. It's snowing. That's all the snow that hasn't melted. Let's go, snow dogs. Let's go, snow dogs. Snow dogs run in the snow. Let's go, snow dogs. You want to go down by the lake, snow dogs? Yeah? Turbo, you want to go run in the snow? Turbo, you excited about snow? The plow just came by, so it's not as pretty. I'm not going anywhere today, so I'm annoyed that the plow came down. It's pretty. So I didn't finish the profits before the live stream. We're about 15 minutes from the live stream. I look rather horrendous. Let me turn down this light. It is a little bit too high for up here. There, I look marginally less frightening. I am getting ready for live stream. We're gonna inception this because I have my other phone going. Ooh, and I'm getting ready. Just getting in here. We got our timer set up. We are ready to go. Don't mind my laundry. I'm excited for the profits. Yeah, so it should be good. Inception video. Yeah, we'll see if I can finish this. I don't know if I will. I mean, I guess I can get through that much. I have about 100 and something pages left, but I will definitely, I got like 150 pages. I can definitely finish it tonight. I came with water, and I came with wine. I came with crazy hair. I don't have any snacks though. That's my one downfall. I did not prepare well for this. No, well, to be honest, it snowed, so I was contemplating going out and getting like snacks and stuff so I could eat, but that didn't happen. But we have wine, so now I just wait for my friends, and we're gonna live stream. So exciting! I really love that we're doing this, and I really love this book. Okay, so I just scrubbed my lipstick off, so I probably look a little bit like Ronald McDonald because it was starting to look a little janky after like drinking beverages and stuff on the live. But I'm gonna set you down. So I am currently at, I didn't finish it on the live because we got really chatty, which that's what happens. I really do look like Ronald McDonald. It's hilarious. I'm on page 296, which is like 80 pages from the end. So I think I might just wait and finish this on my next day off so that we can really enjoy it, because there's a lot. It's like I really want to finish it, but there's so much in here. Like there's so many flags and there's so many post-its that I've put in here. And if you watched our reading sprints, you'll know that like we're all in different spots, but we're all just like, there's so much in this book. Like the amount that the author crams into this story, especially as a debut author, the amount of commentary, the amount of history, the amount of just facts and learning that's crammed into this little book. Like it's little, it's not even 400 pages. Is crazy to me, the skill in which he weaves this narrative. And it is so flipping good. The way he discusses being mixed race, the way he discusses being a slave, the way he discusses being each and every member of this plantation, and how you see race relations through each person's eyes and how they all mix together and how they treat homosexuality. That's like the overarching theme, is just homosexuality through these different prisms. And it is just a masterpiece of storytelling. And anything else this man writes, I will read it. And I also was thinking in our last little sprint, how awesome it is that we live in a time where this story can actually be told, and how disappointing it is that that time is so far down the road from when these things happened, that it's taken this long for this kind of story to be told. This book, I'm so glad that we chose this book as a book club pick so that we can pick this apart. This is the kind of book that will be taught in literature classes, in in the future. This is the kind of book that needs to be reread and dissected multiple times just to tease out all of the different pieces and messages that are in it. It is phenomenal. It is just a phenomenal piece of literature, of modern literature, that needs to be, I mean, just more people need to read this. Like, I don't know, if you just read just to read for pleasure, like, maybe you're not going to read this. But if you read for the love of reading and for the love of the power of the word, this is the kind of book that you need to read, because this book is going to, like, it's going to make you think in ways that you've never thought before. It is so stinking good. And I feel like I am privileged to be alive in a time where I could read this, where I can have this. It is, I honestly, I can't process right now. So I'm going to stop updating you guys. And we're going to finish this on today's Wednesday. I'm going to finish this and we're going to talk about it. And then I'll see everybody on the live discussion on Sunday. I'm going to try to get this up and edited prior to that, so, you know, you can see it, but words are failing me right now. Okay, the lighting is awful. I'm sorry. It's dark now. This one bulb is like super bright because I changed it and it's brighter than all the other bulbs. So we're just going to sit under the spotlight. It's time for me to finally finish the Prophets. It's Wednesday evening. It's the 24th. I don't know. That could be the date. I have maybe an hour or so left of listening to this to go. And I was holding off doing that until I could sit down and really focus on it. So that is what we're going to do right now. We're going to finish this little puppy up. We already know I love this, so that's that. Let's get him naked. Yeah, I have problems. Let's go with it. And we're going to read. I'll see you guys back with an update when I've finished, and I will wrap up my thoughts. I don't know if I'll wrap them up this morning, like tonight, or in the morning when the lighting's better, and maybe I have some makeup on and I don't look like an insane person. But I do have my awesome Adding Over sweater up, and I can put the name of where I bought it from in a link down below. It's like Willow something. I can't remember right now. But I love this. It says, "Darling, I was the night itself." We all know I love Addie Laura. So, but that's not what this vlog is about. This vlog is about the Prophets. So I will see you guys when I am done and when I want to wrap this up with my thoughts. And then I will see you guys on the live stream discussion this Sunday, because I want to get this wrapped up, this vlog up, and get it up as quickly as possible before the live stream, so that if anybody is eager or can't make the live stream, doesn't like to rewatch lives, and just wants to know what I'm thinking, it'll be there. Hey, so I did promise you guys a wrap up of the Prophets, and I'm going to give you that shortly. I'm also hopping on this author's interview in like 30 minutes that he's doing with the magazine, and I really want to hear his thoughts on the book. And then I'm gonna jump back in here and I'm going to give you guys my final thoughts. I don't know if this is filled with spoilers or not, and I don't think this is going to be a spoilerly a vlog filled with spoilers. I can't read. I can't talk. I don't think it's going to be a spoiler-filled vlog, because it's not the kind of story where that's my reaction, is to be like, oh my god, I can't believe this happened. It's more like the overarching message of the book that has drawn me in. So I'm excited to see what he has to say about that. So I will see you guys in a little bit, and then we will wrap up this vlog.
Flexible. Stretch further so that there was too much difficulty in trying to pull you apart. Samuel was a hard thing. There was no use in trying to make him anything other than that. And he had every right, even if sometimes he didn't understand how his...
Okay, I just finished watching the interview with Robert Jones Jr. that Shadow Magazine did, and I think I'm officially in love with this author. It took him 14 years to write this, which explains why it is as perfect as it is as a debut novel. And I'm still churning thoughts around. I took, in my bullet journal every month for TBR Lowdown, I leave myself like, show you. I leave myself a page to write notes. This was not enough to take notes from this interview. I still have my page in my reading journal to write down my thoughts. I haven't even started that. I don't even know how to summarize this book. But this is just a brilliantly executed story about what it means to be queer and what it means to be Black, and how so much of what happens here in slavery is still happening today. And that I think he said something along the lines of, things haven't changed, they've just changed shape. So things look differently now, but they are the same as they've kind of always been with the prison industrial complex. And now it's got me wanting to read the new Jim Crow, which I've been wanting to read for a really long time, but I haven't gotten to yet. Just because, I mean, I read so much, it's like squeezing everything in. It becomes like a puzzle. But this is the kind of book, and I think I said this once or twice already in this vlog, this is the kind of book that I hope gets put on syllabi, and that is studied, because it deals with so much and does it in an interesting and beautifully written way. Every time you read this, I feel like you're going to pick out new things. There is no white savior, but he still dissects the internal feelings and pieces of the white overseers, the white plantation owners, because they are also people too, and they are also being affected by this oppression. It's not that, like, the effects of the trauma of oppression isn't just one-sided. Like, yes, it's predominantly felt by the oppressed. Like, do I need to say that? I don't need to say that. That's an obvious. But there is a negative reflecting back on the psyche of the people doing it, and it may not even be something they're conscious of. But there were a couple things that he said that I really wanted to just touch on. Specifically, he talked about queerness existing before there was a label for it, especially in Africa, which I love, because those scenes that go back to Africa just say so much, and they could feel, maybe if you're not really paying attention, like they don't make sense, but they make so much sense in understanding the collective ancestry of a peoples that is oppressed across the world, and that identity has been ripped away from. He talks about how, despite our geographical differences, we are the same blood and the same blood memory, that there is something that ties all Black peoples, the Black diaspora together. And this is talking, like, this book speaks to that collective blood memory. And it's just, I'm going to leave a link to the interview down below, because I will not do his words justice in any way. I'm just, like, so blown away by this book, and I'm so blown away by the messages that he is putting through, and they're messages that many people put out through their literature, but the way that he's handling it is just so expertly done. And I feel privileged to have read it. I love when I can read a book and I can sit down and I can say to somebody, it was a privilege to be able to read your work. And this truly was a privilege. I absolutely love it. So I really hope everybody can join us on the live. I'm going to try to get this edited today. It is Thursday. I work Friday. I'm going to try to get this up maybe on Friday. So fingers crossed. So that, like, everybody can see it and get excited for our live discussion on Sunday, because there's so much to unpick here. And I really hope this is a good discussion. We are picking some lighter stuff for March, which I think will be a good balance. But I'm hoping we can dive deep into some more things like this throughout our time as a book club, because these stories are stories that need to be told and need to be read and need to be, like, pushed out into the world so that the message gets out there, because we're never going to change anything without changing the way people think, and books do that talking about books do that. Every story is the beginning of a conversation, and this book is the perfect conversation starter for the inherent flaws, the historical trauma, the current day oppression and damage that the past has given us, and only through examining the past are we going to be able to navigate to a better future. And it's just, I cannot wait for this live. This is probably the live I've been the most excited about so far. So with all that being said, I would like to thank you all for watching. If you've actually made it this far, as always, leave down below. This time, let's do love is love, and I will see you guys in my next video, whatever that may be, because it's my channel and I can do whatever I want.
Just sit with me, talking to the night until the morning, building chemistry. I don't think